Hello everyone, so today I am doing a look on this makeup look right here. I'm going to be using the Lemonade palette by Dominique Cosmetics to do this look that I came up with on my eyes. And yeah, this video is different because it's a talk-through tutorial, so I hope you don't mind that. It's going to be a little bit longer than normal, and I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite tips for like glowy makeup. I'm living for this look right now. I don't want to take it off. It's like my favorite. I'm definitely going to wear this off camera. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to be notified, hit the notification bell right next to the subscribe button. And if you want to see how to get this look, then just keep watching. Hi, so I have my foundation done. I have it done because I did a first impressions video, like maybe 2 videos ago I think, and I'm still trying to work with the foundation and the powder and stuff, so if you want to check it out, check it out. But yeah, so I'm working with that, so I just did it off camera because I didn't want to have to go through a whole like hour-long process. And I also want to try out some new eye makeup today. So I've had these 2 palettes for a while. They're both by Dominique Cosmetics, which, if you don't know, is a brand started by Kristen Dominique on YouTube, and I have been following her for a while. So when she came out with the palettes, I didn't buy them at first because I'm not really into the whole like buy when it first comes out. I kind of like to wait and see because I don't know, I'm just not into that hype. So I got the Lemonade palette and the Latte palette. She also has the Berries and Cream palette, but that's not really my thing. I don't really like those purpley tones on me. I feel like they wash me out, so yeah. I'm going to be using the Lemonade palette today. I have only used 1 color in this palette, so yeah. Actually, no, that's a lie. I used 2 colors from the palette. I have used Nude Tea because I wanted to see if it would match, and it doesn't. And I have used Chai Tea, and the only thing I did with Chai Tea was I just put it in the crease, lower lash line, threw on a wing, and I was done. But I want to play around with like these 3 colors here. Because they're really calling my name. I also kind of want to play around with this peach shade. I don't know if I'm going to use it today. I might, but yeah, I can't wait to play with this palette. It's so gorgeous, and I love Kristen Dominique, so let's do this. Okay, so we're going to hop into this gorgeous palette right here that has just been calling my name. And I am first actually going to take the shade Lemon Soda, I think, which is, oh, you can't even see, which is this shade right here. It's a really beautiful, like, yellow gold shimmer. Like, I swatched all of these colors, and they look gorgeous. So I'm going to take this on, like, a flat brush. I got this from the drugstore. I'm really not picky when it comes to brushes. I'm sorry. I know that I should be more picky and, like, careful with my brushes, but I really don't care. Because I feel like you can make anything work. So it doesn't really, I don't really see that big of an importance with brushes. Some I do, but in my mind you can make anything work. So I'm going to take Lemon Soda and I'm going to put this, okay, it doesn't really show up that much. Maybe I just need to pick up more because I started off with a really light amount. It's not very pigmented, I'm going to be honest. Like, you can see there's really not much coming onto my eye. I do know from working with the Latte palette that you do need to kind of build up her shadows and work with them a little bit. I'm going to try using my finger, so I'm just rubbing this on. It's a very light shadow. Like, it's not something that's going to be like a super foiled metallic shadow. This is something that is like very light, not going to have too much color payoff. So for my look that I have in mind, I didn't want this to be too yellow, so I'm going to go in with the shade Peach. And when I was swatching the shadow, I think this actually might be like my favorite shade in the palette because it's so beautiful. Let's see. Yes. Yeah. This color is like everything. I don't think the camera really isn't picking up like how truly beautiful this shade is. Oh my god. Yeah, I really like this shade. It's so pretty. So Now I'm going to go in, I think I'm going to mix mango and sweet tea because I really like them both, and I think sweet tea might be a little bit too dark to put in the crease initially. So I'm going to put this in my crease with a Real Techniques base shadow brush, and I'm going to just mix them together. In the pan, they do have a lot of fallout, like they have a lot of kick up. If I try to, like you can see all of the kick up there. I personally don't mind that. As long as they perform on the eyes well, I'm okay with it. So I'm just going to mix them, and we're going to tap off the excess, and a lot of excess comes up. It's kind of like Anastasia shadows in a way. When you put it like in the pan, there's a lot of kick up, and when you tap off the brush, there's a lot that comes off. But I mean, yeah. Now I'm going to go on to the lower lash line before I like highlight the brow and everything. And I want to mix the lemon soda and peach shade and just draw it on the inner part of my lower lash line. I'm going to do this on an angled brush and see how it applies. These shimmers aren't really that pigmented, I'm going to be honest. Like, I definitely see more pigmentation in her latte palette. So, but I like the colors in this palette more, but the pigmentation and formula is better in the latte palette. They're not bad, you just have to work with them for a bit. Like, peach tea is a really, really beautiful color, but it doesn't have that much pigmentation, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, you can slightly see it underneath of my eye, but not really. Just a really, really small amount. I'm going to try using a different brush to apply this onto the lower lash line, just because I like to try out different brushes, because maybe some brushes will pick up like more product, others won't, but they're applying basically all the same. You just have to really build up the color as far as the shimmery shades go. Okay, so I do have quite a bit of fallout along like here. You can't really tell on camera. This is what it looks like. I have quite a bit of fallout like here and like around here. You can't really see, but I do. But this is the eyes so far. So I'm just going to go underneath of the lash line. Very simple. My looks are very simple. And I'm going to take mango and sweet tea again and just mix them to make a really pale orange shade. And I'm just going to go right at the outer part of this lash line here and just blend it down and kind of connect it to this outer part of the crease there. So even though I didn't like this shade to set my eyes, I want to see how well nude tea can highlight my brow bone. So I'm just going to take it on the brush that I normally use to highlight the brow. I did notice that this shade was a bit lighter than the vanilla cream shade, so if that was just a pinch too dark for you, then nude tea might work if you have this palette. And I'm just going to go along and blend the edges of these shadows. Okay, so when I used it to set my eyes, the foundation and concealer on my eyes, it definitely oxidized. I didn't do that today. I did something else today. But now, using it to highlight the brow bone, it's actually okay. So maybe it's just the fact that I have less product on the brush, so it's not really oxidizing anything. But it definitely works now. So, yeah. Okay, so I just did my lashes, and I also did my brows off camera because I filled them in with some eyeshadow, and yeah, so I have officially made up my mind. This Covergirl Professional 3-in-1 mascara, I hate it. It doesn't do anything for my lashes, and I feel like the only time I would wear this is if I was trying to blacken up my lashes before false lashes, but for a look on their own. It took me half an hour to do this, and I did check the time. It took me half an hour to get this. There's like basically nothing on the bottom, so sorry CoverGirl, but like no. The Supersizer is like the best drugstore mascara, so that's it. That's all I have to say. So yeah. Anyways, we're going to move on to the face now. So I want to go with a warm tone bronzer because I feel like that's really going to tie in with all of the orange and gold that I have on my face. So I'm going to use the Essence one. I like this. It smells actually really good. It smells kind of like that like coconut sunscreen scent, which I really like. It looks like this. You can't tell on camera, but I have made a dent on it, and I also broke the lid, so sorry. But I just like to swirl my bronzer brush in it, and when I do it, I like hold it at like the end because you have a lighter hand, and then I just like tap off or kind of like wave it around to get off the excess, and you don't really even have that much on, which is good because it kind of helps you build up. And it's going to look scary at first, but you can blend it out. It's also partly this foundation that I'm wearing because it's a little bit sticky and patchy, but yeah. And when you apply your bronzer, just use a really, really light hand and just don't be afraid to blend. Like, literally go all over the outer parts of your face, like literally blend into your hair, which is what I do. Just don't be afraid to blend. So that is what we have right now. It kind of looks crazy, but it'll all come together when we highlight, which I'm actually going to do now. Sometimes the reason as to why I like to highlight before my blush is because it adds more of a beautiful glow from within. So the line of highlight doesn't really show, like you don't get like a line of highlight. I know that looks crazy. It doesn't look that crazy in person, I promise. So you don't get a line of highlight. It just looks like you have a glow from within. So I'm going to take the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. I spoke about this in my favorites video. And what I like to do is I like to take it on a thick brush like that. I have no idea where this brush is from. It came in a kit. Like I said, I don't have that big of a preference to brushes because I can make anything work. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to really build it up there. And I'm going to take it along the top of my cheekbone and just brush it from the apple of my cheek back up like that and kind of going downwards. Typically you wouldn't do this, but for this look, it works. I also do this with my Becca Be a Light face palette. It looks very beautiful on the skin. I love this highlight because it doesn't draw like too much focus to like any texture. If I still want to highlight my face and I have a lot of texture on my cheek, this is what I will use because it just doesn't pick it up basically at all. And then I'm also going to highlight my nose. So how I highlight my nose is I take the fatter end of the applicator like this, and I just get the product on there, like the highlight, and I just highlight the tip. Like I draw like a line across where we don't have the contour, and then I just rub it around with my finger very, very lightly, creating the, and we're going to do like the inside of the heart. So creating the inside of the heart. So think of it like coloring. So you outline the heart and then you fill it in with highlight. You outline the heart with the contour and you fill it in with the highlight. And that's how I do it. Now for blush, I am very set in my ways. If you've noticed, I am very set in my ways when it comes to my products. I don't like change with my makeup products. So I'm just going to take my e.l.f. blush palette and I'm going to mix these two colors here to create a really light coral. Beautiful color. I'm going to tap off the excess and just work that from the apple of my cheek and go back very light-handed. I'm holding the brush like at the end of the handle because I don't want this to be too heavy. I just want it to be a very, very light amount of product. Something else that I like to do is I like to take my damp beauty blender and I like to just go over the bottom and the sides here because sometimes those areas can look really harsh. And blending it out like this will give a really soft airbrushed look to the face. And sometimes I also like to go over the highlight on the tip of my nose because that can go a little bit too strong. I love a good highlight on the tip of my nose. Trust me, I love a nose highlight, but sometimes I can be a little heavy-handed, so doing that just helps blend it into the skin and just make your highlight become one with your skin. Setting spray is also a really good thing to use if you just spray your face and then pat over the skin. That is beautiful, but that also works in case you don't have setting spray or whatever. So now we're going to go into lips. I want to try this liquid lipstick. I love the I love the NYX Liquid Suede lipsticks. Those are like one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas ever. So I finally picked up the lingerie ones, and this is in the shade Dusk to Dawn. I also have Baby Doll. that I wore once. It reminds me a lot of Naked. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Naked from Anastasia. But I want to try Dusk to Dawn because it's a little bit more of a nude, peachy kind of tone. But I am going to put a gloss over it. So, looks like this. And we're just going to... Okay. I love this color. The formula reminds me a lot of the Kat Von D Everlasting liquid lips. So, if you don't like that formula, you might not like this. I did have to do 2 layers of it because when I did the first one, it was like really thin. It was kind of streaky, so I just went over it a second time and it looks good. I really, really like this color, but I want it to be glossy because this is very like fresh and glowy, so I like more glossy lips. So I'm still testing out these lip glosses from the Balm. I noticed that I don't like them on their own. I like them over top of a product because then they last longer, which is basically with any gloss. In order for it to last longer, you need at least like a lipstick, a liquid lip, or like a lip liner underneath of it, because if not, your lips are just going to soak up the moisture and then it's done. But I really like this one. I have like 5 of them. I have only not tried out one, and it's just because that color is just kind of like, I'm like thinking of a look that I want to do with it, but this one I think is my favorite. This is the shade Pop, and it's like a coral, and I want to try it with this look. And I'm going to do one last thing to the lips because I kind of want to tie in like the gold tones there. So I'm actually, I'm reaching for it. I'm going to take my Champagne Pop from Becca. I freaking love Champagne Pop. Oh my god. If you do not have Champagne Pop, get it. If you can't afford Champagne Pop, Wet n Wild has a dupe for it. But this is like the most beautiful highlight ever. This is my second Champagne Pop. I've hit pan on it. It's just my favorite thing ever, ever, ever. And I'm going to put Champagne Pop on the inner corner of my eye. And we are also going to take her and put her on the center of our lips. Just really lightly. I just want to add like a slight kind of gold tone to my lips. Golden champagne tone. And a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Don't rub your lips together, like, don't do that because you're just going to take off the liquid lipstick and it's just going to crumble. So just like that. And that's going to be the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this. This look is like, I'm living for this. I would definitely wear this again off camera. I love it. I would recommend the Latte palette. I do recommend it. It's just, if you want, you just have to be okay with having to build up shimmers. That's it. But the matte formula is beautiful. I would give it maybe like a 6.5 out of 10 as far as shimmers go. But the mattes are like 10 out of 10. Love the matte shades. So yeah, this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to be notified as soon as any of my videos go up, then hit the notification bell right next to the subscribe button. And let me know in the comments below what you want to see from me. I do makeup tutorials, all cruelty-free. And yeah, so thank you for watching. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.